For more than 5 years, Saad Iqbal Madni was prisoner number 743 in Guantanamo Bay. The prize-winning reciter of the Quran claims he was threatened, abused and brutally tortured. His ordeal began soon after 9/11 during a visit to Indonesia. He says he was bundled onto a plane which took off from Jakarta and refueled in British territory, the island of Diego Garcia. He claims when he got to Egypt, interrogators used electric shocks. From there, he was transferred to Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan. He was moved again in March 2003 to join the hidden ranks in Guantanamo. The US Defense Department says detainees there are treated legally and humanely, and torture has never been used. Saad Iqbal Madni says he's living proof that it has. He was released in August 2008 and returned home to Pakistan. But more than 2 years on, he's still fighting for his freedom. Saad Madni, thank you for speaking with us. What happened to you when you arrived in Guantanamo Bay?
So it was 23rd March 2003 when I arrived in Guantanamo Bay. They stripped me naked in front of 50 people from military intelligence, US, including male, females. And after that, they covered me with a uniform of orange, and they handcuffs me, shackles me legs, and they take me to the Oscar block. I was in Oscar 4 for isolation for 30 days. Was a 6x4 metal cage. Did not take me in interrogation during these 30 days. After that, they moved me to Mike block. I was in Mike block when they took me first time into the interrogations. They said, we've been watching you since you left from Pakistan. You're not going to lie with us. We know everything about you because we've been follow up you since you left Pakistan. You have to be truthful with us. They asked me the question, was 4 people, was a black guy, was Americans, and was a Egyptian, was a Indonesian, Malaysian looking guy, and was a British guy.
How do you know that one of them was British?
He said, I'm from England, British. He said his voice accent for English also was known. British guy, he just asked me about Richard Reed, that's it. He said if I have met Richard Reed, he was said like after you went to Indonesia, he come to visit you in Indonesia also. He said that. I don't know. He interrogated me only about Richard Reed. And if I have any friend or anyone, I know him in England, in UK. Other peoples, they ask me different questions about if I have met Osama bin Laden, if I went to Afghanistan, if I have any kind of relation with any terrorist groups, any information about 9/11, any information about planning terrorism for the future, Al-Qaeda, and that's questions. I denied. Then they was very mad. They said, okay, if you're not going to accept, at least you met Osama bin Laden. They said, go ahead, accept you met Osama bin Laden, we forgive you. Yes, you did mistake and that's fine. I said, how I admit something, I never did it. So that time was my they start torture me in Guantanamo. The first torture I received, they put me in frequent flyer status. They kept me in frequent flyer status for 6 months. The frequent flyer status mean the detainee doesn't allowed to sleep. Every 20 minutes, every half an hour, The guards come and wake up the detainee. They handcuff him, they leg shackles him, and they move him from camp to camp, from cell to cell. Sometimes they put you in cell 1, and each block had 48 cells. The first time they put you in cell 1, and the second time they move you back in 25 cells, last, so you can walk. If we try to get a nap a little bit, the guards come and they kick the doors, yelling, screaming, cursing, and only this detainee not allowed to sleep. During this frequent flyer status, I was suffering from my ear, because the torture in Indonesian airport, I have realized in Bagram Air Base, I have a hole in my eardrum, and that's because they threw me against the wall. After I was in frequent flyer status, I was suffering from the pain, and I can't sleep, and was bleeding from my legs each time I go walk, and they move me from camp to camp, cell to cells.
And during that period in Guantanamo, Saad, did you ever think you would get out, or did you give up hope?
The way they treat me, I was never hoping I going back alive in Pakistan. They really, the doctors over there, they said in 3 months you're going to die, because the infection is very close to your brain. Anytime you can have a stroke. That reason they considered me in life-threatening condition.
What about physical ill treatment in Guantanamo? Were there beatings in Guantanamo?
Yes, not the interrogators, but the guards. They several times they beat me by the kicking, and IRF team. They always send a IRF team. IRF team is 6 or 8 guards. They wear a helmet, and they have a spray. They first use spray, and they right away they come inside a cage, and they beat, and handcuff, hand shackles from back, and they beat at that time.
You made a suicide attempt in Guantanamo Bay. Tell me about that.
I have a white sheet. I hang that sheet in my top of cell, and I try to attempt a suicide with that sheet. But the guard caught me, and they take me to the hospital. And a few days, my neck was very hurting, and it just stayed like this. And after that, they now stopped torturing me. They sent me to Delta Block. Delta Block is in Camp 1. Is another block, you can call this a psychiatrist block. Also, you can call this a second interrogators torture block.
What happened when they moved you to Delta Block?
They stripped me naked. Just allowed is the underwear. 6x4 cage is a refrigerator metal. They put me inside that cage for 6 months, and I was without clothes, and they turned on the air condition is very high, and they kept me over there for 6 months. Is nothing allowed beside the underwear. During this period, they take me to the interrogation, and they said, okay, what's now, you going to admit or not? I said no. And I start in here a hunger strike, because I was suffering too much, and I start a hunger strike, and that time they start giving me a codeine and morphine as a painkiller.
How difficult was it for you to get access to lawyers when you were in Guantanamo Bay?
When I start hunger strike, one of my friends over there, he was a detainee. He told his lawyers he's going to die, and that reason the court allowed my lawyers to see me one time visit because my life-threatening conditions.
So that was the only visit you had?
Yes.
How do you feel about Americans and about the Americans who treated you this way in Guantanamo Bay?
If I said like I am not angry, definitely that's not the truth. In my heart, definitely I am angry, because if I did something bad and they punish me, this is okay, because I did bad and I've been getting a punishment for that. But I have not did anything bad. In my whole life, I have never cursed anyone. My friends since 20 years also, they have been with me. If you ask them, they will say, I have never cursed anyone. I have never killed ants in my life. This is really painful what they did it to me, and not, I can't forget what they did it to me. And is no word to explain.